Okay. Hi, everybody. It's Dawn Gallagher. How are you? And today I'm going to try something new on my channel. I'm interviewing. So I'm interviewing today Tracy Gold of Tracy Gold Fashion Tips. Tracy is a fashionista. She is a personal stylist. She's a YouTuber for women over 40 and just an overall great person. So I'm thrilled to have you here with me today, Tracy. How are you?
Hey, Dawn, it's so wonderful to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, so today we're going to just talk about fashion for women over 40, over 50. We're going to talk about beauty for women over a certain age. And you've got some great tips on your channel. If anybody is interested to see more of Tracy and her wonderful tips, you just go to Tracy Gold Fashion Tips on YouTube. She's got lots of interviews and lots of great tips for women over 40, huh? I mean, I go there all the time. That's how we found each other. I've looked at Tracy's channel and I just love your message and what you say. So I'm going to just get right to it. So Tracy, tell me why you think it's important what's your philosophy? Why do you think it's important for women to find their own personal style?
Dawn, I think that in so many cases, fashion has been used as kind of a weapon against women. It's been used in a way that's making us feel really bad about ourselves. We're either not skinny enough, or we're too skinny, or our boobs aren't big enough, or we're too short, or too. We're always too something. And depending on the fashion trends will depend on how close to perfection we're ever going to get. None of us are really perfect, right? I mean, even you as a model said that, even models aren't. That the fashion has been used to either confuse women or to make us feel bad about ourselves. And so for me, I have always used clothing and style to express myself. I've used it in a way to say something about myself. And so I'm really passionate about other women to find something that really works for them and a style that speaks something of them, and not just be about trying to keep up with everybody else or trying to make themselves feel good enough.
Yeah, I agree. I think that what a lot of women do is they dress for their husband or their boyfriend or their friends, or because they're so concerned about what other people think about them. And I don't know if you agree with this or not. I think you should dress for yourself. What makes you feel good? What is your own personal style that's going to bring you joy that day? And depending on your mood, I mean, I know for me, there's some days where I feel like dressing very sort of Holly Golightly, at Breakfast at Tiffany, and I wear my pearls and my dress, and I love to, but it's for me. It's not for anybody else out there. Excuse me one second, my earpiece falling out. It's not for anybody else but me. So I'm wondering if you agree with that we need to stop looking at what other people's opinions are and start looking at our own way of bringing joy. Because I really feel like fashion is a way to express yourself.
Absolutely. I think that there's value in taking other people's opinions when it's somebody that's relevant. So,
Yeah.
for instance, for me, I wear a variety of different things. And there's certain things that my husband loves me in. So when I'm going out on a date night with him, I'll kind of, choose an outfit that I think he'll like. Am I going to wear that all the time? No. Are there things that I wear that he doesn't necessarily like or think suits me the best? Yes, I do. But then he also wears things that I don't particularly like, and so we're individuals. And I think that, yes, while we want to look good for one another, and I think there's validity in that, I
Yeah.
don't think we should dress for other people. I mean, I think often women are dressing for other women and not for our men. actually. And I think we can get quite competitive with one another. But, I think that generally comes from a sense of insecurity. So I have found, especially with my clients, because I'm a personal stylist and I work with women one-on-one as well as, on my channel. And I find that when women find a style that really suits them, that really speaks of who they are, that it's not a cookie cutter or one size fits all style, it's something that really works for them, they feel good no matter what other people say. And because they feel good, they wear it so well and they wear it with confidence and they feel confident. And so then there's less room for, the naysayers. Don't you find that, Dawn? Like sometimes I think back on times that I made decisions in my life that were different from other people. And I kind of would take some flack for those things. And then one day I decided I'm not taking flack anymore for that. And suddenly the flack stopped because ethically or just in my own way, I was not open to the naysayers. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I think that a lot of times we do need to find a sense of confidence in ourselves. And I think that clothing can be a start to that, but it's not all of it. After all, it is clothing, but it's never just about the clothing for women. It's really about how we feel and how we express ourselves and how we use clothing to do so. And I think some women just don't know how to do that. And that's where it's helpful, to go to a channel on YouTube or to speak to a stylist or to work with people who that is their forte. Let them help you find a style that works for you because it's such an expression of who you are.
Yeah, and I totally agree. I know that you're in South Africa and I'm in New York. Yes. There's a lot of women who, are living, all over the world that don't have access to the stores or the shops that like in New York City, we have access to everything. But what would you say are some of the places for women who might be living, in the Midwest somewhere, or, somewhere in a country where they don't have access to some interesting things? Do you have any, recommendations to different online shops that you would recommend to women?
Well, I think online shopping has opened a huge amount of doors for women. So where, if you didn't live in New York City, you couldn't get those kind of things. I'm coming in April, so I'm really looking forward to it.
Yay!
I know, the thrift shops that you have in the secondhand stores, I think are completely amazing. And I'm looking forward to that. And you're not going to find that necessarily online, but there are a lot of things online. And I think in most cases, it's also knowing what you're looking for. I mean, here in South Africa, we are very limited with what is available. And so many of my clients, I'll take them because I take them on a shopping lesson. And they like, well, what do you mean a shopping lesson? Well, women don't know how to shop because they go to the same places and they try on the same things and they buy the same things and then they wonder why they don't have anything different. So I teach women how to shop and I teach them what to look out for. And it completely changes their perspective. So still same limited stores, but suddenly they come home with a few things that they really like. So I think it's about learning what suits you. And then also, Dawn, as you and I have spoken before, is that, and I've spoken to other women in other interviews, sometimes it's helpful to have those kind of influencers that you follow. And sometimes they have some great suggestions. Like, for instance, I know that you have an amazing beauty store that's with Amazon. So you've got your products there. And then I have my Amazon store on Kit. So women can go and look at those things. And those are great examples. And if that's not suitable for them, that gives them an idea of what they're looking for according to, their personal style.
Yes. And another thing I wanted to ask you, because I've noticed on your channel, you talk about styling for women who might be shorter or women who are concerned about their tummy. I want to talk to you a little bit about that because I think there are women out there who, want to be stylish, they want to be fashionable, but they're holding themselves back because they don't like certain, their weight or their height or their whatever it is. Let's talk a little bit about that. What would you suggest to the woman that might be feeling a little insecure about, say, her weight? Like, what would be a good starting place for them to kind of get some ideas? I mean, I know, of course, we can go to your channel, but any other suggestions that she could do, to give her that confidence to kind of try different things and have fun with fashion?
I think, Dawn, first of all, to say that every woman has got things that she doesn't like about herself. So,
Yeah.
I mean, that is just, we often, I think, as women, we think that we're alone, and we look at other women and we say, oh, if only I looked like her, then I'd be happy. Or if only I was, the ideal weight, or if I was the right height. I mean, I'm 5'2", right? I would love to be taller, but, I'm not going to be taller. So I think that there's a time and the place. Yes, something we can improve on and maybe, do some more exercise or whatever. But generally, I think it's about loving and accepting our bodies the way they are today. And when we do that, then it just opens up a whole lot of other doors for us. And I find sometimes, women come to me and they say, well, they want to learn to dress for their body shape, but they're still not ready for the change. So I think, first of all, you need to be ready for something different. You need to be in a place where you say, okay, I'm open to the input now, and then there are so many things that you can do to size the parts that you're not so crazy about. The very first things I always ask women is, what are the 3 things that you love about your body shape? So if you were to stand in a full-length mirror and look at yourself, what are the 3 things that you love? And your hands, feet, and face don't count. So you can imagine this takes a while often, and the reason why, because I think, but I want to talk about the things I don't like. I'm like, yes, I understand that, but let's look at the things you do like. And the reason being, Dawn, is that when we dress to cover up the parts that we don't like, we inevitably make them look bigger. It's just the way it is. So for instance, if I have big boobs, I wish, okay, but if I had big boobs and I then wear a big baggy top to cover up my boobs and I wear a high neckline, it's actually going to make them look bigger. Whereas if I wear a nice deep V neckline, I don't have to show cleavage, but I define my and I wear things that suit my body shape, suddenly I'm not going to notice that so much, So it's really around knowing what you love and changing the focus and then learning to kind of just work the rest, because there are little magic tricks you can use all the time. I use them on myself. People say, oh, well, Tracy, you look so good. I'm like, you have no idea. There are also things I don't know myself, but I know how to dress myself. So learning what your body shape is, learning how you feel about your body shape, and then learning to dress the things that you love first and focus attention on those, and then learn to kind of disguise the parts that you're not so crazy about. And that for any woman, no matter what body shape issue she has.
Yeah, and it's really interesting that you say that the things that you're trying to hide enhance, right? So, and what I found is that when I was younger, I was, I have a pretty wide hips and a pretty around derriere, and I used to try to hide it by putting a sweater over, because I was so, I was very insecure about it, and I didn't like that part of me. So I would tie sweaters around my waist and everything to try to hide it. And all it did was bring attention to it. All it did was like, why do you have that sweater tied around you? Why, and it made it look bigger because I tied things around it. And, so what I think I'm hearing you saying is, let's love every part of ourselves. Let's enhance what we have. Because now you see, the Kardashians and all these people have brought it out that, the curves and being curvy and beautiful. There's a big movement on Instagram that curvy is beautiful. It's gorgeous. So enhance what you have and have fun with it, and not try to hide it. Try to embrace your beautiful body, your divineness.
Absolutely. And I think that, look, let's be honest. Good clothing makes a big difference. I mean, let's think about it. If you go into a store and you find a pair of jeans that you try on and your ass looks terrible in them,
yeah,
you're not going to love your ass, right?
No.
You go into a store, you find a pair of jeans that your ass looks great in, and how are you feeling about your ass now? You know what I mean? So yes, clothing definitely makes a difference. And the right clothing can, I mean, I have seen women transform their relationship with their bodies because of wearing the right clothing. So I am all for that. But I'm also all for loving who and we are, because what I've also experienced is that I've experienced beautiful women. I mean, really, like women who you would look at and think are perfect. I mean, not that there is such a thing, but you know, you would really look at saying, wow, she's gorgeous. And she doesn't love herself. And no amount of clothing can ever change that for her, because it comes from inside. So it is about the clothing, but it isn't, if you know what I'm saying. You can't replace, you can't put pretty clothing on somebody and expect them just to feel good about themselves if they are not ready to feel good about themselves, and they're not ready to accept the body that they have, that God has given them, which is absolutely gorgeous, you know? And so
I talk a lot about that too, that, you know, that you have to, it's an inside job, you know, feeling beautiful, looking beautiful, embracing all that. You have to feel that, because there's nothing outside or what you buy or what you put on or a cream or a lotion or a pair of jeans or whatever is going to give you that. And you have to cultivate that within you.
You really do, Dawn. And I think that, I mean, even if I've seen my own walk, you know, if I look back on time, on sort of even my 20s and 30s, I'm 44 now, and I look back and I think of the things that I was self-conscious about then. And I was like,
I know.
What was I worried about? You know, I wasted so much time being worried about those things. And so it was an awakening for me. And I thought, you know, going into my 40s and getting older, I don't want to waste time like that. Do I want to take care of my body? Yes. Do I want to make happy decisions? Absolutely. I mean, in all the interviews, when I interview women over 40, you include, Dawn, have said the same things. You know, you've got to look after yourself. You've got to eat right. You've got to exercise. You've got to drink lots of water. You've got to be careful what you put on your skin. You know, you've got to love your life. It's an inside job, and it's about valuing yourself. At the same time, you still got to love what you have, you know, and there's some that none of that's going to change. Some of that is never going to change. And are you going to waste your life worrying about what doesn't change? I just think it's a waste.
Yeah, and when I think back of how silly I was when I used to worry about my hip size and my butt and tying things around it and trying to hide it, what a bunch! It was such a waste of time and such a waste of a beautiful thing that I had. And you know, it's so funny how back then, you know, this is like 20 years ago. I was ashamed and embarrassed, but now people are like getting butt implants and everything else to enhance that part. So you're absolutely right. You know, it's just, it's so interesting how we women, you know, look at magazines or trends or whatever and think, oh, I don't look like that, or I'm not like that. We have to stop that sort of negative self-talk and really start embracing that we are divine, we are beautiful, we can enhance what we have. And I love what you're saying, you know, the right pair of jeans, the right fit, the right away, it can make us feel like $1,000,000, because, you know, it's also about choosing the right items that work for us and our body type as well. You know, we don't want to put on, I always call it fast fashion, things that just fall apart or not well made, or, you know, just investing that a little bit more money in yourself so that you can buy, you know, it's better to have one fantastic pair of jeans than 20 pairs of jeans that don't look right or don't fit you well or are not made well. Do you agree with that? I mean, I think that's
100. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm constantly amazed at how much women spend on clothing and still have nothing to wear. And so, you know, for me, it's around being a curator of your wardrobe. It's about deciding what is it that you really love and what is worth investing in. And what are you going to wear long term, and creating a really good classic wardrobe, and then adding your fashion pieces with it, you know, and still having lots of fun. I mean, I have a very colorful wardrobe. So when I say classic,
I can see
I don't mean
behind you. I can see your wardrobe.
Yeah, this is actually some of my collection. So yeah, and patterns and all this kind of stuff. So I mean, I work a lot with color. I have my own collection, and I work a lot with color and prints and that kind of thing, because I just think they make people happy, and they work multitude of, wow, they can hide all kinds of things. But the thing is that It really is around learning what works for you and what your personal style is, and then buying just a few classic pieces that are going to stand the test of time. I mean, I have things in my wardrobe that I've had for years that I still wear. And I carefully curate the things that I buy. I don't buy a lot of stuff, but the things that I do are generally good quality, and I really love them, and I wear them and I wear them and I wear them. And this is what I encourage women to do. I think we live in a kind of consumerist environment where we just buy and buy and buy, and this is the latest must have, and this is the latest thing you must have. I think that's nonsense. Like, the latest must have. I mean, really. And the next season, there's another latest must have. And then next season, and then what happens to all that stuff?
And that's just manipulation. That's just media and advertising manipulation, that you have to keep buying, that you're not enough, that you're not good enough. That's the message. So you have to keep buying and buying and buying to make yourself feel better. Well, you're just good enough just the way you are. And you look great just the way you are. And all you need is a few beautiful pieces in your closet. I call it, the capsule wardrobe. You just mix and match, what you feel good. And, there's a whole movement with, secondhand items. You can buy some thrifting. I love vintage. I love to go in and find a dress from the 40s or 50s. I feel fantastic in those dresses because they're kind of fun and colorful, and you can be very girly. And so when you come to New York, Tracy, and we do Tracy and I, everybody, we're going to be doing some work together. We're going to be doing some makeovers, and we're going to be taking you guys shopping with us. And I'm going to be showing Tracy some incredible vintage stores and secondhand stores in New York, because we really want to show you that those pieces can be such an enhancement to your wardrobe.
Yeah. And Dawn, I'm so excited about that. And I just, just to share as well, I mean, you and I interviewed you a couple of weeks ago, and, we spoke a lot about sustainable fashion and really giving some thought to what we're buying. And I have to say that was quite a challenging thing for me. I mean, not that you outwardly challenged me, but it was more inward. And I really thought about it, and I thought, I want to start making more sustainable fashion choices. And I mean, listen, I'm a fashionista, and I love variety. I mean, I make a lot of my clothes, and definitely the people who make my clothes are well paid and well treated and very valued, because without them, it would not be possible. So, but where are the things coming from that I'm buying, and what do I support, and how do I support those? And I think especially in cities like New York, where there is so much. I mean, I've actually got a map on my pin board in my studio of some of the best vintage places that I've just found online. And I mean, I could spend my entire time in New York just going to thrift and vintage places and find the most amazing. So what does that say then, of how much is available? And we can make sustainable fashion choices, and it can be cost effective, because I mean, thrifting is affordable, and we can create our own personal style.
Absolutely. And I love what you're saying about sustainability. And I know that you've been looking more and more into making videos about sustainability. And I have, because the fashion industry is the second largest polluter, believe it or not, in the world. And I think women people are starting to wake up and go, let's think about our fashion choices. Do we really need to buy 3 blouses that I'm going to wear just once or twice and then trash them because, the season's changed or the trend has changed, or they're just not well made? If we look at some of these stores where we're like, oh, we got this great deal, it was $5.99. But how was it? Look into where was it made? How was it made? Who made it? Because, there is a thing called fashion, but at what price? So we don't want to buy things that were made in sweatshops. I walk into stores now and I say, I like your clothing, but where is it made and who's making it? And do you know? And if they don't know any information about where it's coming from, is it coming from a sweatshop? If it's not, I don't purchase it. I'd rather spend more money on something where I know it's being made in a fair way. I love fair trade, items as well, because that's helping somebody. That's helping a woman get out of poverty. You know, when you buy fair trade items of scarves and hats and blouses and things like that that are made by women lovingly, you know, it's made handmade. You know, the quality is going to be fantastic, and you know, it's helping them. It's helping them rise out of poverty. So as we can, women helping women, you know, we need to start looking at our fashion choices. And I love that about you, Tracy, that you're so open. And, you know, I'm a fashionista, you're a fashionista. I love fashion more than anything, but I don't want to hurt anybody. I don't want, at what cost, you know, I don't want to hurt anybody in the pursuit of looking great. And I know there's so many options and choices out there that we can now choose from that are all about sustainability and not, you know, hurting other people.
Mm. And Dawn, I'm very excited because, you know, you mentioned the makeover show that we're going to be.
Yeah.
And that's what we're going to really be focusing on, is making fashion choices where you look amazing, but it is sustainable. And, you know, I think as women, I've been amazed at the over 40 fashion community of how they've just embraced me, and you know how easy it is to get women to do interviews with, and just the warmth and the sense of community. And I think we can take that further, because actually we are an amazing community of women. I think we can really start to band together and say, well, yes, we do want to look and feel fabulous, and that is phenomenal. And yes, we do have budgets, but we are actually the ones that are buying things. So if we start to speak, when we are now demanding, we actually don't want items that are made out of sweatshops, and we don't want products that are made at a price that is too great. I mean, would we want our own daughter to be working in places like that? Would we want our own family to be abused in that way? And so maybe, you know, I'm hoping that we can together build a community and a groundswell of women saying, you know, we can all feel fabulous about ourselves. In feeling fabulous about ourselves, we can also set it up that other people can feel fabulous too. And that is just so, it's such a passion for me, because I think that it's about time that we as women stood together and start looking at the difference that we can make in the world. Because as one person, we may feel like we can't do much, but we actually can. But banded together as a community, boy, the world better watch out. And if we are coming.
And if you think about how powerful we are, we're the ones with the money that are spending the money. So if you think about your home, who buys your groceries? Who buys your everyday items? Who buys your, I mean, you're the one that's really kind of in control with the money that you're spending on your home and on your clothes. So why not spend it for good? Why not lift other women out of poverty? Why not look for fashion that is not hurting other people? Why not thrift? Why not go into the vintage? I'm all about that now. I'm all about recycling, giving back to charity. There's a homeless shelter around the corner from me where there's women there that you know, just love clothes that are, you know, that have been donated. They're just so appreciative. And so we just need to keep looking at that and knowing yesterday was International Women's Day. We can do this. We can do this. We can make a big, big difference.
Yes, we can. And I think Dawn, where it starts though is with us. You know, I think that it starts with a valuing of ourselves and a valuing of what we value. And then because there's nothing more beautiful and there's nothing more powerful than a confident woman. When a woman is confident, she just owns the place, and she can do it with absolute gusto. And then that spreads, you know, and that creates a space for other women to be confident. Because I always think that whenever one person needs to put another person down, it's generally out of a sense of insecurity. It's not a security. You know, it's really, I'm not feeling good about myself, so I now need to bring somebody else. Then the opposite is also true. When I'm feeling good about myself, I want to uplift someone else. You know, I want to, and so I'd encourage women, you know, think of ways that you can encourage each other. I think the world can be quite tough sometimes. And, you know, the messages that we get in the media around who we are as women and what we look like. And if you see a woman walking in the street, even if you don't know her, and you see her walking in the street and she looks great, actually stop her and tell her so. Or if you're checking out your groceries and you see somebody looking really stylish, or you like their handbag, or you like the way they look, or the color of their lipstick, anything, take a second and stop and tell her, and see if it makes a difference to how you feel as well.
Well, I always say be the lighthouse, because as you shine your light, and you're encouraging others to shine theirs. So with that said, we have to go. Time is up. Unfortunately, it was so awesome speaking with you, Tracy, and interviewing you. You're such a light. You're such a beautiful person and such a light. And I just love everything you stand for and your videos. So thank you again. And I look forward to seeing you soon. You're going to be coming to New York and we're going to be working together. And let's do more interviews together.
Awesome. I'd love that, Dawn. Thank you so much.
And have a beautiful day. Okay. Bye-bye.